So, folks, we need to talk about what is happening in Iran, and we also need to talk about Donald Trump's address to the United States. The White House reached out to all of the major broadcasters, got a time slot for Donald Trump to address the nation, and was really cagey about exactly what the contents of that address would be. It's typically pretty important. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. What did he want to tell us? What was so important? All right, let's jump over to C-SPAN.
Illegitimate interests. Here is the president.
That's not the president. That's a podium. Oh, there he is. Look at him go. So spry. So hopeful. Comrade
Make
Girl.
your show possible. I got you, sister.
Hell yeah, Comrade Girl. Thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. Very much appreciated.
Thank you very much. My fellow Americans, good evening. Let me begin by congratulating the team at NASA and our brave astronauts on the successful launch of Artemis 2. It was quite something. It will be traveling further than any manned rocket has ever flown and will very substantially pass the moon, go around it, and come back home from a distance that has never been done before. It's amazing. They are on the way.
I'm pretty sure we've sent people around the moon before. I mean, it's a pretty cool thing to do. It's objectively the least bad thing we're doing with rockets right now. It is farther. Oh, they shot out farther behind the moon. Gotcha. We have sent people around the moon, but we're sending them farther on a farther trajectory. That makes sense. It kind of seems like they're doing it as like a publicity stunt, essentially. I admittedly have not been paying very much attention to Artemis, but I do like space. I like human beings traveling through space. I think that's very cool. You aren't calling this address to talk about Artemis 2. It has to be more important than that. Becoming Tanya, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Very much appreciated. Thank you so goddamn much. And yeah, we're doing a farther return route. And my guess, if I had to guess why exactly this is happening, I would say it's almost certainly because Donald Trump saw that he could go farther than anyone else had before with this particular launch and said, oh yeah, let's do that. I want to be in the history book. So I that's my feeling for what they're doing here and why this is happening. But, maybe I'm just being a cynical, a cynical spoil sport, He very obviously wants to put his name on the Artemis 2 mission, and fuck him, he's a stupid rapist and doesn't know anything. True, Celestial Heart. He was found liable for rape.
God bless them. These are brave people. We want to God bless those 4 unbelievable astronauts. As we speak this evening, it's been just 1 month since the United States military began Operation Epic Fury, targeting the world's #1 state sponsor of terror, Iran. In these past 4 weeks, our armed forces have delivered swift, decisive, overwhelming victories on the battlefield.
Oh, wait. Okay, new theory for why this address is happening. I know I am being insufferable and pausing too much. It's fine. My next best guess is that reports from behind the scenes are that he's been infuriated that America just doesn't understand how much we're winning in Iran, in his estimation, and so he's having an address to talk about how much we're winning. Don't you understand? We're winning! Be happy! Like, he thinks, why aren't you all happy for me?
Victories like few people have ever seen before. Tonight, Iran's Navy is gone. Their Air Force is in ruins. Their leaders, most of them terrorist regime they led are now dead. Their command and control of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is being decimated as we speak. Their ability to launch missiles and drones is dramatically curtailed, and their...
Wait, what? We're winning? Since when? Well, since the only way he is absorbing information about this conflict is through 2-minute video montages his team puts together for him to keep him happy, right? They're basically just showing him montages of explosions of different Iranian targets, and he's like, look at that, we're winning! And is then confused why his poll numbers keep dropping.
Weapons, factories, and rocket launchers are being blown to pieces.
My fellow Americans, I am getting rid of your healthcare and starting wars you don't want, but my dementia brain is reverting back to spaceships now, like the Lego spaceman from that one movie.
Ah, the Lego spaceman from that one movie. You mean the movies being put out by Iran?
A few of them left. Never in the history of warfare has an enemy suffered such clear and devastating large-scale losses in a matter of weeks.
That can't possibly be true. That cannot possibly be true. Never in the history of warfare? I don't know. I think they're doing all right. They still have the Strait of Hormuz on lock.
Our enemies are losing in America, as it has been for 5 years under my presidency, is winning, and now winning bigger than ever before. Before discussing this current situation, I also want to thank our troops for the masterful job they did in taking the country of Venezuela in a matter of minutes. That hit was quick, lethal, violent, and respected by everyone all over the world.
Yeah, everyone loved what I did to Venezuela. Why won't you love me, Dad, for what I'm doing in Iran? I mean, country, not dad. My dad's dead. But you, the country, you're alive. Why won't you respect me? Respect me like a regular guy.
After rebuilding our military during my first term, we have by far the strongest military anywhere in the world. And now we're working along with Venezuela and are, in a true sense, joint venture partners. We're getting along incredibly well in the production and sale of massive amounts of oil and gas. The second largest...
He really sounds like he's doing bad. Like he's struggling to get words out and breathe at the same time.
Just reserves on Earth after the United States of America. We're now totally independent of the Middle East, and yet we are there to help. We don't have to be there. We don't need their oil. We don't need...
We're totally independent of the Middle East. We don't even need your oil. Then why the fuck are we there, man? Why are you doing any of this? We're just doing this out of altruism. We're bombing this country, spending tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars bombing this country because we're just so good-hearted. We bombed that school because we just have such big hearts. All right? What an insane man.
Need anything they have, but we're there to help our allies. Tonight, I want to provide an update on the tremendous progress our warriors have made.
See, I read this as he's going to invade when the markets close tomorrow for the 3-day weekend. Well, you know, it's interesting that you say that because literally earlier today, someone noted an apparent move of insider trading reported by Unusual Whales. Look at this. This wallet had just put an $800,000 bet on boots on the ground in Iran. They previously were right about the time U.S. struck Iran first. Unusual. And, yeah. Unfortunately, we live in a hell world where insider trading on future events is illegal now in betting markets like Kalshi and, Poly Market.
Live from the Poly Market studio in LA.
But, yeah, I would not be surprised if, by the end of the week, tomorrow or Friday, we have boots on the ground in Iran.
And discuss why Operation Epic Fury is necessary for the safety of America and the security of the free world. From the very first day I announced my campaign for president in 2015, I have vowed that I would never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. This fanatical regime has been chanting death to America, death to Israel for 47 years. Their proxies were behind the murder of 241 Americans in the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut, the slaughter of hundreds of our service members.
Wait, it's really called Epic Fury? I have bad news. It is in fact called Operation Epic Fury, because we live in Hell World and everything is stupid, and every single day it gets stupider. Every single day it gets stupider. And by the way, on that note, The Nation put out a really good article earlier today about the anti-intellectualism being spread by, the tech oligarchs on the right. The fact that things are getting stupider, it's not just you. They are, in fact, getting stupider, and it's by design. It is becoming stupider because anti-intellectualism serves fascism. It always has. From Umberto Eco, identifying it as one of the 14 points of fascism, anti-intellectualism is, in fact, a key component of all of this. And so it's not you. Things are, in fact, getting stupider. All right?
With roadside bombs. They were involved in the attack on the USS Cole, and they carried out the countless other heinous acts, including the just horrible, bloody atrocities of October 7th in Israel, something that most people have never seen anything like it.
There is like again, the dissonance here is wild to me. Like, we condemn Iran for things their proxies did as we drop bombs on civilians in Iran. We blew up a school and killed... we blew up an elementary girls' school and killed like 160 some children. Like, the incompatible mental dissonance here is really causing me mental damage.
This murderous regime also recently killed...
Yeah, they double-tapped the school. There was another school that they hit, we talked about this the other day, with experimental munitions that effectively act as a cluster bomb full of tungsten scattershot. It's disgusting. It's awful.
45,000 of their own people who were protesting in Iran. 45,000 dead. For these terrorists to have nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat. The most violent and thuggish regime on earth would be free to carry out their campaigns of terror, coercion, conquest, and mass...
Yeah, just like North Korea. North Korea out there doing all of their campaigns of terror and conquest with their nuclear weapons. Look at North Korea. It's rampaging across Asia. Wait, that's not happening?
Murder from behind a nuclear shield. I will never let that happen, and neither should any of our past presidents. This situation is...
You literally ripped up the agreement that stopped them from getting nuclear weapons, and now you are sending the US military to bomb their country, blaming them for trying to get nuclear weapons after you destroyed the diplomatic solution. It makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. He is the sole creator of this problem, actually.
Been going on for 47 years and should have been handled long before I arrived in office. I did many things during my 2 terms in office to stop the quest for nuclear weapons by Iran first, and perhaps most importantly, I killed General Qasem Soleimani in my first term.
I'm sorry, are you just doing this address to the nation? No, of course, sorry, no. I already said he wanted people to know that everything in Iran is a rousing success right now, so of course he's going to brag and stroke his ego on live television.
He was an evil genius, brilliant person, a horrible human being, however, the father of the roadside bomb. And he lived just horrible what he did. Iran would have been perhaps in far better, stronger position. Had he lived, we would have had probably a different conversation tonight. But you know what? We'd still be winning and winning big. And
then how, like, if the conversation tonight is how we're winning so big, how would it be a different conversation? What are you talking about? Is he going to remove us from NATO? Excellent question. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Then, very importantly, I terminated Barack Hussein Obama's Iran nuclear deal, a disaster.
It would have stopped us from invading Iran. It would have stopped exactly this situation from happening.
Obama gave them $1.7 billion in cash.
Of their own money that was frozen in transactions overseas. We didn't write them a check for that money. It was in their foreign bank accounts.
Cash, green cash. Took it out of banks from Virginia, D.C., and Maryland, all the cash they had. He flew it by airplanes in an attempt to buy their respect and loyalty, but it didn't work. They laughed at our president and went on with their mission to have a nuclear bomb. His Iran deal would have led to a...
Yeah, you know.
I ate 45 grams of fiber in my dinner last night, and less shit has come out of me today than what Trump is spilling out of his mouth now.
I know, Lily. It's fucking crazy. Just, yeah, you know, no one in Iran would ever laugh at Donald Trump. He's a very serious guy. Very, very serious guy. Okay? Just gonna mute that. Yeah, they would never make fun of Donald Trump. They would never make fun of Donald John Trump. God, everything is so stupid. Everything is so stupid. It's AI, there's no copyright. I don't care. I'm not here to listen to that song.
A colossal arsenal of massive nuclear weapons for Iran, and they would have had them years ago, and they would have used them. Would have been a different world. There would have been no Middle East and no Israel right now, in my opinion, the opinion of a lot of great experts, had I not terminated that terrible deal. And I was so honored to do it. I was so proud to do it. It was so bad right from the beginning. Essentially, I did what no other president was willing to do. They made mistakes, and I am correcting them. I'm
correcting them, which my corrections led exactly to this situation, which their mistakes were designed to avoid.
Preference was always the path of diplomacy, yet the regime continued their relentless quest for nuclear weapons and rejected every attempt at an agreement.
I legit don't care that Iran is making AI videos mocking Trump. It's mocking the IRL equivalent of Hitler too. Yeah, no, like, they're right to do that. They are right to make fun of Donald Trump. Just as we are correct to make fun of Donald Trump.
For this reason, in June, I ordered a strike on Iran's key nuclear facilities, an Operation Midnight Hammer. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Those beautiful B-2 bombers performed magnificently. We totally obliterated those nuclear sites. The regime then sought to rebuild.
We totally obliterated their nuclear program, which is why we have to invade them to stop their nuclear program.
Build their nuclear program at a totally different location, making clear they had no intention of abandoning their pursuit of nuclear weapons. They were also rapidly building a vast stockpile of conventional ballistic missiles and would soon have...
Wow, a country with a stockpile of missiles? The gall. The only country that should be allowed to have missiles is the United States of America.
Had missiles that could reach the American homeland, Europe, and virtually...
They don't have missiles that can reach America. God.
Any other place on Earth. Iran's strategy was so obvious. They wanted to produce as many...
Iran's strategy was so obvious. Except for locking down the Strait of Hormuz. We never saw that one coming. We never saw that one coming, folks. A lot of people told me after the fact that everyone knew, but I didn't know.
missiles as possible, and they did, with the longest range possible, and they had some weapons that nobody believed they had. We just learned that out. We took them out. We took them all out so that no one would really dare stop them. And their race for a nuclear bomb, a nuclear weapon like nobody's ever seen before. They were right at...
Whoa, the Iranians have the capacity to build a new type of nuclear weapon, the likes of which the world has never seen before? That's crazy.
The doorstep. For years, everyone has said that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons, but in the end, those are just words if you're not willing to take action when the time comes. As I stated in my announcement of Operation Epic Fury, our objectives are very simple and clear.
It's so stupid.
We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at levels never seen before, and annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb. Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say
everyone's giving me rad 5-star reviews on my new shiny war. Like, it's crazy. He's treating this like it's a fucking product rollout. Also, just throwing this out there, the idea that, like, we've destroyed Iran's navy. It does not take wildly sophisticated ships to go out into the Strait of Hormuz and drop sea mines. You can do that with literally anything that can just support the weight of a mine. You can do that with like a fleet of fishing boats. We have not blown up every fishing boat that Iran has. Yeah, all they need really are speedboats. Like, if we had truly eliminated their ability to project power at sea or power via missiles or drones, like, the Strait of Hormuz would be open. There'd be nothing keeping it locked down. He's just full of shit.
That these core strategic objectives are nearing completion. As we celebrate this progress, we think especially of the 13 American warriors who have laid down their lives in this fight to prevent our children from ever having to face a nuclear Iran. Twice this past month, I have traveled to Dover Air Force Base, and it's been something. I wanted to be with those heroes.
Like, he's gasping for breath through his words. And, like, if I talked like that, you guys would be asking me what's wrong constantly.
The return to American soil, and I was with them and their families, their parents, their wives, their husbands. We salute them, and now we must honor them by completing the mission for which they gave their lives. And every single one of the people, their loved ones said, please, sir, please finish the job, every one of them. And we are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close. I want to thank our allies in the Middle East, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain. They've been great, and we will not let them get hurt or fail in any way, shape, or form. Many Americans have been concerned to see the recent rise in gasoline prices here at home. This short-term increase has been entirely the result of the Iranian regime launching deranged terror attacks against commercial oil tankers in neighboring countries that have nothing to do with the conflict.
Well, outside of, housing U.S. military bases that are launching the aircraft that are attacking their country, outside of not having anything to do with it like that, I guess. Also, just worth noting here that he started this out by saying we were not reliant in any way on Middle Eastern oil. We don't need it. We're only there out of a sense of altruism. And now he's saying, like, oil prices are going up because of this conflict. And, you know, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Strange. It's almost like he's a liar.
This is yet more proof that Iran can never be trusted with nuclear weapons. They will use them, and they will use them quickly. It would lead to decades of extortion, economic pain, and instability worse than we can ever imagine. The United States has never been better prepared economically to confront this threat. You all know that. We built the strongest economy in history. We're going through it right now, the strongest in history. In 1 year, we've taken a dead and
worth noting here that his idea of the strongest economy in history is also one of the most hated economic economies, one of the most hated economies in modern history. Like, we have record amounts of dissatisfaction with the Trump economy right now. And he's basically just going on TV right now to tell all of his supporters, like, no, you say you hate it, but you actually like it. You like it, don't you? No means yes, doesn't it? Like, he's gross as fuck.
crippled country. I hate to say that, but we were a dead and crippled country after the last administration, and made it the hottest country anywhere in the world by far, with no inflation, record-setting investments coming into the United States, over $18 trillion, and the highest stock market ever, with 53 all-time record highs in just 1 year. It all positioned us to get rid of a cancer that has long simmered. It's known as the nuclear Iran, and they didn't know.
We didn't, that wasn't a problem. The cancer that is long simmered. Oh, you mean the cancer that we didn't have? The cancer that, like, we were not diagnosed with?
What was coming? They've never imagined it. Remember, because of our
well, you could have had cancer.
Drill Baby Drill program, America has plenty of gas. We have so much gas. Under my leadership, we are #1 producer of oil and gas on the planet, without even discussing the millions of barrels that we're getting from Venezuela. Because of the Trump administration's policies, we produce more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. Think of that, Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. And that number will soon be substantially higher than that. There's no country like us anywhere in the world, and we're in great shape for the future. The United States imports almost no oil through the Hormuz Strait and won't be taking any in the future. We don't need it. We haven't needed it, and we don't need it.
It's not a war about the oil. It's not a war about the oil, even though I have made some statements to the press that some of you liars and thieves, the lot of you, but I have made some statements about how we're going to take the oil.
Beaten and completely decimated Iran. They are decimated, both militarily and economically and in every other way. And the countries of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it and cherish it. They can do it.
Grab it by the strait? When you're famous, they just let you grab straits. It's true.
Easily, we will be helpful, but they should take the lead in protecting the oil that they so desperately depend on. So to those countries that can't get,
like, I don't know. This is weird. Like, it's so weird and gross and abusive and deeply disgusting and unnerving to listen to him talk about conflict like this.
Fuel, many of which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran. We had to do it ourselves.
Nethercat, I like that. The country is suffering from an extreme case of Trumpian Munchausen by proxy. You're right. You're right.
I have a suggestion. #1, buy oil from the United States of America. We have plenty. We have so much. And number two, build up some delayed
We have so much oil. That's why we tapped into the strategic reserve, folks. We just have so much oil that we decided to trade our emergency supply of oil. You know, like you do when you have so much of something. You start using your emergency supplies.
courage. Should have done it before, should have done it with us, as we asked. Go to the strait and just take it, protect it, use it for yourselves. Iran has been essentially.
I'm sorry.
Before, should have done it with us, as we asked. Go to the strait and just take it, protect it, use it.
All of you guys go to the Strait of Hormuz and take it. Like, America's doing all of the work here. We're doing it for you guys. France, Italy, the UK. We're doing this for you guys, all right? You guys should be invading Iran, not us. We're doing it out of the goodness of our hearts, okay?
For yourselves. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy. And in any event, when this conflict is over, the strait.
We've already destroyed Iran. All you have to do is send your troops in there. Don't worry about the fact that they have a standing army of over 1 million people. Don't worry about it. Just go right in there and take it. It'll work fine.
Will open up naturally. It'll just open up naturally. They're going to want to be able to sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will resume the flowing and the gas prices will rapidly come back down. Stock prices will rapidly go back up. They haven't come down very much, frankly. They came down a little bit, but they've had some very good days over the last couple of days. We've done actually much better than I thought, but we had to take that little journey to Iran to get rid of this horrible.
I have to laugh or I'll cry. Yeah, we're not at war with Iran. We're just bombing them and destroying their infrastructure like never before. But it's not a war. It's just an excursion. It's just a little journey. We took a journey, like around the world in 80 days. It's just a little journey, guys. We'll all laugh about this.
Smiley face emoji. Celebratory hands in the air emoji.
Shiba404, thank you for the $5 super chat. Very much appreciated.
Threat with our historic tax cuts, where people are just now talking about receiving larger refunds than they ever thought possible. They are getting so much more money than they thought. That's from the great big beautiful bill. Our economy is strong and improving by the day, and it will soon be roaring back like never before. It will top the levels that it was a month ago. I've made clear from the beginning of Operation Epic Fury that we will continue until our objectives are fully achieved. Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. Regime change was...
Look, it's just a little journey, but also we'll destroy them. We'll destroy their entire country. We'll bomb them back to the Stone Ages. But it's not a war. It's not a war, though. God. This guy is literally the worst. In a just world, he should be rotting in prison, in a just world, there is no world and no way for a man like this to get into power. It's why I keep talking about the need for there to be accountability for, politicians and elites. Any kind of better progressive world needs to be built on a bedrock, on a foundation of accountability for people like this. Yeah, dumbass Alini, exactly.
Not our goal. We never said regime change, but regime change has occurred because of...
It wasn't our goal. It wasn't our goal to do regime change, but then we just whoopsie-doodled and killed everyone who was in charge. Not our goal. We just tripped and fell on the bomb buttons.
All of their original leaders' death. They're all dead. The new group is less radical and much more reasonable.
That is absolutely not true. The people who replaced the existing folks who were in power, are more radicalized hardliners, and you bombing Iran proved all of them right. Like, any of the objections to Iran going towards a more militarized nation, a less democratic nation, like, you proved them right by doing this. You've destroyed the pro-democracy movement in Iran.
And if during this period of time no deal is made, we have our eyes on key targets. If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric
In chimpanzee society, they would have eaten him decades ago. True.
generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously. We have not hit their oil, even though that's the easiest target of all, because it would not give them even a small chance of survival or rebuilding. But
we haven't hit their oil out of the goodness of our hearts, not because we want to take it, folks. It's because we're just really nice guys. Sure, we also blew up those schools, but who cares about children? We're talking about oil. Precious black gold. That's what they call it, folks. Black gold.
we could hit it, and it would be gone, and there's not a thing they could do about it.
You know, we could just destroy all of their energy infrastructure. We could do it. But we wouldn't. We would never do that. But we want them to understand the implication.
They have no anti-aircraft equipment. Their radar is 100% annihilated. We are unstoppable as a military force. The nuclear sites that we obliterated with the B-2 bombers have been hit so hard that it would take months to get near the nuclear dust, and we have it under intense satellite surveillance and control. If we see them make a move, even a move for it, we'll hit them with missiles very hard again. We have all the cards, they have none. It's very important that we keep this conflict in perspective. American involvement in World War I lasted 1 year, 7 months, and 5 days. World War II lasted for 3 years, 8 months, and 25 days. The Korean War lasted for 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days. The Vietnam War lasted for 19 years, 5 months, and 29 days. Iraq went on for 8 years, 8 months, and 28 days. We are in this military operation, so powerful, so brilliant, against one of the most powerful countries for 32 days. And the country has been eviscerated and essentially is really no longer a threat. They were the bully of the Middle East, but
they're no longer a threat. And I think we could just go home. I think we could just go home. Like, we'll call it good. We won. And bye.
Bully no longer. This is a true investment in your children and your grandchildren's future. The whole world is watching.
We don't rely on them for anything. This is an investment in your kids' college fund, really, when you think about it.
And they can't leave the power, strength, and brilliance. They just can't believe what they're seeing. They leave it to your imagination, but they can't believe what they're seeing, the brilliance of the United States military. Tonight, every American can look forward to a day when we are finally free from the wickedness of Iranian aggression and the specter.
That's right, folks. I know everyone in America was living under a constant fear of Iran. Everyone, you woke up in the morning and you thought, it's today the day that Iran is going to do something. You woke up every day thinking about Iran. You went to bed every day thinking about Iran. And finally, you will live in a world free from thinking about Iran. The terror that they have, the tyranny over your mind. You know, I watched the movie Dune the other day. They call Fear the Mind Killer. And, you know, they're making another Dune movie. It looks pretty good. Yeah, you know, I was thinking after watching that second one, that Paul Atreides, he kind of reminds me of me a little bit. Anyway, fear is the mind killer, folks. So, you don't have to be afraid of Iran anymore. I freed all of your minds. Now you can follow me.
Of nuclear blackmail. Because of the actions we have taken, we are on the cusp of ending Iran's sinister threat to America and the world. And I'll tell you, the world is watching. And when we do, when it's all over, the United States will be safer, stronger, more prosperous, and greater than it has ever been before. May God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much, and good night.
So cool, so cool, so cool of him to do a live address to threaten to do more war crimes to Iran, while also trying to say, hey, we really want to leave, but also everything we've done here is so cool and awesome, but we want to leave, and you better give us what we want, otherwise we're going to war crime you some more. Like, God, he's the worst. In any sane world, if there were sane politicians in Congress, he would be impeached and convicted immediately. But, like, he's just absolutely washed, man. And, like, I wanted to bring up this clip for talking about Iran here. It's from the Piers Morgan Uncensored show, which is a pile of garbage. I cannot recommend that any of you ever watch it for any reason. But this clip was pretty good, okay? Here you go.
The Iranians have been reactive to this, not proactive. You know, people watch on the news what's happening in Lebanon, in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Syria. There has to be a response. You can't just say, well, you know what, we're an existential threat to the Israelis, so of course the Israelis are going to have to bomb us. That's just not real life. I can tell you, in all the years that I was in the CIA, no matter who the Israelis...
Yeah, by the way, this guy's not like a raging leftist or anything. This guy's a former CIA lib, okay?
Israeli prime minister was. Every single time an Israeli prime minister came to Washington, no matter who the president happened to be, the Israelis would say, please help us bomb Iran. Please help us bomb Iran. Please help us bomb Iran. And the presidents always said no, until this one. I think that President Trump was duped by Benjamin Netanyahu, and now we're in a war that is not ours from the beginning, and that we cannot win. And this is another thing, too. My own experience in the CIA and at some of the highest levels of government. I was the executive assistant to the CIA's deputy director throughout the Iraq War. There's never an exit strategy. It's easy to attack a country. It's easy to overthrow a government. But then what do? That's the hard part. The Iranians have been...
Like, the thing is, he's correct. He is correct. It's really easy to destroy a government. It is really difficult to build anything after you do that. And also, I do take a little bit of... I do prickle a little bit at the idea that, like, oh, Donald Trump was tricked. I don't think that he was tricked. I think that, like, they effectively just said, oh, it'll be easy, it'll be fine. And, like, he wasn't tricked on this because he's not smart enough on this issue to be tricked. Like, he just bumbled into it because he's a fucking moron. You know? Like, is it a trick if you, like, whoopsie daisy into a war? Like, no. You played yourself. Exactly. And, you know, everything is getting worse and worse and worse. Because as, of course, the conflict with Iran continues, I've been talking a lot about how the conflict is expanding, and the New York Times earlier today came out with an article here that honestly boggled my mind. Israel's message to a broad swath of Lebanon: Shiites must go. And it's really, really awful. Behind the scenes, Israeli officials have conveyed a more targeted message. In private calls to local leaders across southern Lebanon, Israeli military officials have assured several Christian and Druze communities that they could remain in the evacuation zone. They have pressed them, however, to force any Lebanese from neighboring Shiite Muslim communities who have sought refuge among them as Israeli bombardments flatten Shiite towns, according to local Christian, Druze, and Shiite leaders who spoke to the New York Times. The Shiites make up the majority of southern Lebanon. Local leaders took the messages as a clear signal. Israel is trying to force out 1 force out one group in the south, Shiites, who are from the same sect as Hezbollah, the Iranian-backed militant group that Israel is trying to vanquish. So effectively, they're doing an ethnic cleansing. Like, what they're saying is, well, a lot of Hezbollah is made up of Shiite Muslims, so we need to do an ethnic cleansing of Shiite Muslims. This is fucking, it's just fucking genocidal again. Like, we're just looking at another Nakba again and again. A Nakba everywhere across the land of Greater Israel. You know, the land, I want to clarify, that Israel claims as Greater Israel. They are just doing expansionary settler colonial wars in order to seize territory. That's it. That's what they're doing. What is the Nakba? The Nakba was the event during which the Palestinians were expelled from, their ancestral homelands. And their homes were then claimed and seized by the Israeli government. It's why even to this day, Palestinians want a right of return so that their, the children or the grandchildren of the people who were displaced during the Nakba can return to the places that were once their homes. They have to this day not been granted that. The Nakba never ended. The colonizers lied. Macklemore. It's a good line. Macklemore was spitting. It's truly, truly awful. And I do want to point out that ethnic cleansings are the first step towards genocide. In the event that they fail to expel the group targeted for ethnic cleansing, what nations will do is then do containment in, say, large open-air prisons, and then proceed in a plan of mass murder. Which is, by the way, what we saw with Gaza. It is what we have seen play out in numerous different cases of genocide across history. And Israel is doing it once again. Yeah. I mean, fucking Nazi Germany did the same thing. Definitionally, ethnic cleansing is genocide. Yeah, it's the first part of genocide. As like the process of genocide, yes. And it is wild to me that the New York Times reports on this. And like, they're just reporting it as it happens, right? But there's no label attached to this action. Public messaging, along with the private push on local leaders, suggests that Israel is intent on redrawing not only the geographic map of South Lebanon, but also the demographic one. Well, yeah, no shit. No shit. The warnings targeting Shiites have raised alarm among human rights groups. Yeah, no shit. Man, the New York Times is afraid to even put a label on what's happening. They're like, well, one side isn't saying what exactly they're doing, but people on the ground say they're being targeted for violence on the basis of their ethnic and religious identities. And human rights groups are, well, they're really concerned about the violation of these rights. Who can say what's really happening? Like, Jesus Christ, man. It is so cowardly. It is so cowardly. Hours later, the mayor received a call from an Israeli military official who delivered the directive according to local leaders. The town obliged, leaving the Shiites to search for refuge elsewhere yet again. Again, it's fucking insane. All of it is awful. Shiites who have sought refuge in Hasbaya are afraid that the places within the country where they are welcome are shrinking each day.
Just wanted to say keep up the good work and happy belated Dov.
Oh, thank you very much for the $20 super chat, Ara Riff. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for supporting the show. The expulsions come as many Shiites have expressed more open frustration with Hezbollah for dragging the country into war. Sana Saad, 58, left her home in southern city, Qaim, at the start of the war when Israel issued sweeping evacuation warnings for the area. She and her 87-year-old father were put up in a room in a school-turned-shelter in Hasbaya. After Israeli forces overran Qaim, she lost any hope of returning to her home. Now she fears that Hasbaya may be the next town instructed to expel displaced Shiites. Where will we go then? Miss Saad asked. If no one accepts us, will we stay in our cars? Will we sleep on the street, praying for the war to end? This is very clearly a war of expansion that Israel is waging in order to perpetuate their settler colonial mentality, their culture, I guess. Meanwhile, we talked earlier about how there are now bets being placed for significant amounts of money on U.S. boots being on the ground in Iran in the next handful of days here. And similarly, in a similar story of corruption, for seemingly no reason at all, the U.S. government removed sanction on 3 different Russian commercial vessels. And no explanation given. No one really knows why or has been given any reason for it. We're just like quietly lifting all of the economic sanctions that have been placed on Russia. And as this is happening, Donald Trump is openly contemplating leaving NATO. And we'll get to why in a second here, but I have a clip I want to play for you guys of McCormick. Here we go. Talking about the war in Iran.
Yeah, I don't want to have boots on the ground, but also I want to have all options on the table. One of the things we've done poorly in the past is we do this thing called limited warfare. It's never worked for us. When we go to war college or we do command and staff college, we always learned that the worst kind of way to fight any war is to do it half-assed. We were horrible in Afghanistan and Iraq until we did surge ops, and then we won. We were horrible.
We didn't win in Iraq and Afghanistan. We did not win. We occupied them for almost a decade, and then immediately opposition took power. Is ceasefire an option? Funny that you ask that, because Donald Trump claimed that Iran was asking for a ceasefire. Tehran, however, has denied that they are seeking any kind of ceasefire whatsoever.
In Vietnam until we did Thunder 1 and Rolling Thunder 1 and Rolling Thunder 2, and then we won.
Oh yeah, you all remember that? You all remember when we won Vietnam? You guys remember when the United States won Vietnam? No, you might have thought we lost and got our asses kicked in Vietnam, but no. Remember how we won that? Famously, a lot of movies were made about how the U.S. won Vietnam. Definitely not about how we got our asses kicked there.
As we go half measures, we lose popular support. The faster we get this over, the better. If we seize Karg Island, that is technically boots on the ground, it could be done almost flawlessly. We have enough firepower that would be very easy to defend. I know nobody wants.
We have enough firepower, it would be very easy to defend. In what way? In what way would it be easy to defend a largely unfortified island?
To see that, but at the same time, we can choke them off. End this war.
Choke them off from what? The oil deposit isn't on Karg Island. God, every Republican in our government is a stupid bitch. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Like, they're the ones cutting off the Strait of Hormuz. They're choking us. Karg Island is not the source of their oil. And they have other ways to export oil.
And get back to business so that everybody's gas prices come back down. And so they're not funding Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. The people will be happy. But the longer we drag this on, the more frustrated the people will get and the less support we'll have.
Man, every single one of these people is the dumbest motherfucker ever to walk the earth. It's crazy. It is genuinely crazy to me how Republicans will just roll over and, like, become submissive to the dumbest people on earth. Like, the dumbest, most obvious flim-flam men on earth walk into a conservative town hall, and suddenly every Republican is just, like, showing their asshole, begging to be penetrated. It's crazy. It's wild. Like, have some dignity. At least be wined and dined first. At least be wowed by their charisma and knowledge of different geopolitical affairs. At least let them demonstrate some amount of skill to you. My God. Everything is stupid. Anyway, I want to play this clip for you guys here. Italy denies U.S. military use of their airstrips. Italian press reports that U.S. bombers were due to land at a base in eastern Sicily. The bombers were then to join U.S. operations against Iran. The Italian government refused to grant the U.S. authorization to use the base. This follows Spain's decision to rule out American use of its airspace against Iran. Italian PM Meloni has said the war is outside the scope of international law. I want to remind you guys that the Prime Minister of Italy is a fascist. She's literally a member of the descendant party of Mussolini, right? And not only that, but like even she's like, "Whoa, this is very illegal." My God. And I just have to say, like, when you're hitting a certain point, right, where Italy is denying you landing rights, which, by the way, the United States didn't even request to land at the airstrip. They just assumed they would be granted the ability to land on Italian airstrips. Spain has just outright refused to allow U.S. aircraft through its airspace. And I also want to point out here that there is another story here that France is also denying the U.S. use of its airspace, and Donald Trump is big mad about it. The country of France wouldn't let planes headed to Israel, loaded up with military supplies, fly over French territory. France has been very unhelpful with respect to the butcher of Iran, who has been successfully eliminated. The USA will remember President DJT. Like, Donald Trump is mad as fuck at all these countries. He's also mad at the UK. All of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refuse to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, I have a suggestion for you. Number 1, buy from the US. We have plenty. And number 2, build up some delayed courage, go to the Strait, and just take it. You'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The USA won't be there to help you anymore, just like you weren't there for us. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done. Go get your own oil, President DJT. Like, he's genuinely trying to goad other countries into invading Iran instead of the United States. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. He's begging for a worldwide boycott. I mean, this is from the Telegraph today. I am strongly considering pulling out of NATO. Like, he's just like straight up so big mad. So big mad.
At
that
Riverboat Jack, my dad just told me he's voting all Dems in the midterms. He's a UT Mormon conservative. The evangelical right is turning.
I mean, they're turning on Donald Trump. Like, Donald Trump has hit some record low numbers here. Like, it is not an exaggeration to say that Donald Trump is in free fall right now. Like, everything he is doing is absurdly unpopular. Everything he's doing is unpopular, even among Republicans. And Republicans will still say, like, oh yeah, no, I generally support Donald Trump, but the economy is really bad. I'm not so sure about this war in Iran, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, they're splintering right now. Okay? They're turning from Trump to Fuentes. They're not turning to Fuentes. They're turning to Tucker Carlson. I think the technical term is butthurt. That's true. But basically, he's just really big mad that Europe isn't like gung-ho about invading Iran. And he's upset that everyone seems to hate him for doing something that he thought was going to be universally beloved, you know? And speaking of, he's kind of begun to realize that this is unpopular. You might have noticed in his address, he was making some like, well, our work here is basically done, guys. I mean, we could destroy them anytime we want, but it's basically done. And earlier today, he told Reuters that the United States is going to leave Iran pretty quickly, but they'll return if needed. God, it's so stupid. We're going to leave Iran, but we're going to come back if we need to. It's just he doesn't know what to do. He's oscillating between different options, and let's be real, the momentum here is heavily inclined toward he's waffling, but he's gonna put boots on the ground. You know, you don't send like 10,000 Marines to the other side of the planet to like have them sit on their thumbs. You know, you sent them over there because you want them to invade Iran. You sent thousands of paratroopers in because you are intending to deploy them on Karg Island. He's throwing a deadly tantrum. He really is. Now, while all of this is happening, of course, Iran is not sitting idle. So one of the things that Iran has done, which I've talked about a lot recently, has been essentially formalizing their control over the Strait of Hormuz. This was really interesting. This piece by the Atlantic Council dispatches inside Tehran's toll booth. And this is basically a piece about how Tehran is managing the Strait of Hormuz. Okay? And very interestingly here, China is the top purchaser of Iranian oil, and transactions are increasingly settled in yuan via indirect channels, limiting exposure to U.S. financial oversight. So, historically, folks, we have something called the petrodollar, wherein the price of oil is pinned to American dollars. And that has historically been very beneficial because it allows the United States to do pretty insane things with our currency. It allows us to do things that no other country can do, right? And it gives us a great degree of economic resiliency to like print money and do a bunch of things without huge swings of inflation, right? This is why we are able to do things like quantitative easing without hugely disastrous effects. But with Iran controlling the Strait of Hormuz and having essentially tolls paid in Chinese currency, that acts as a huge threat to the global dominance of the US dollar. And this is one of those things that spooks the market. This is spooking the global market. It's spooking bonds in like American bonds. It's very destabilizing. And it is very telling to what degree it is destabilizing, because right now, what is considered the most stable investment is not the US bond market, which historically has been considered the most stable. Instead, the Chinese bond market has seemingly overtaken it as an island of stability. So, this is a big threat. 20% of the world's oil supply going through the Strait of Hormuz, a huge amount of the global fertilizer trade going through the Strait of Hormuz, having those transactions being done in the Chinese yuan is catastrophic for the dollar as a concept, as an entity, as a social construction, right? So we're all in a bit of a pickle. And it also means that economic sanctions relying on manipulation of the dollar are not going to affect Iran as much. And Ashley says you can expect US T-bills held by other countries to be getting dumped, will be getting dumped slowly. It's true. And some countries like Japan have been dumping large amounts of bonds in protest of US actions as well. I just want you to keep that in the back of your mind as we go forward through this conflict, because I think the de-dollarization of the Strait of Hormuz is going to be a very big deal. Okay? Additionally, of course, different Iraqi groups are now demanding that the United States cease any kind of boots on the ground in Kuwait or any kind of other, military deployments in the Middle East. And as you might predict, the conflict is continuing to embroil not just Iran, but also Iraq. It's all really bad. And I wanted to talk about this particular story from yesterday. We did not talk about it quite enough, but Iran has significantly degraded U.S. ability to intercept missiles and drones. And we know this because we've had reports of different radar facilities being taken out. We've had reports that U.S. military bases in the region have been so badly destroyed that they are now considered uninhabitable, and U.S. military members are essentially living in hotels among the civilian population in order to continue doing their work. In this particular instance, this story in particular, in Saudi Arabia, a missile attack on a U.S. base wounded over a dozen U.S. personnel, but also destroyed 2 E-3 Sentry aircraft. Now, for those who don't know what E-3 Sentry aircraft are, they are effectively, they're extremely valuable planes. Each one of these planes is, what cost in the year that they were initially rolled out in 1998, cost $270 million a piece. I haven't actually done the math on here. Inflation calculator, US, 270 million in 1998 to now. Okay, yeah, each one of those is $546 million in today's money. So, we are effectively looking at over $1 billion in damage just to those 2 planes. Yeah, they are effectively surveillance, observation, aircraft, etc. This is a big blow. This is a big blow. We only had a total of 68 of them ever. We are not able to intercept missiles and drones that are capable of doing $1 billion in damage. These are significant blows. And if the United States was truly as dominant as Donald Trump is claiming, we would not be getting hurt like this. We would not be getting damaged like this. Warfare has changed and America hasn't adapted yet. Yeah, it's like when the Spanish galleons first encountered the much faster cutters. They huge, powerful warships, but that doesn't do you a lot of good when you can't hit what you're aiming at, right? And that's effectively what is happening right now with Iran's drone game. They've outplayed the United States in that regard. I wanted to talk a little bit about this particular story. The United States has continued to attack the city of Isfahan, where it's supposedly one of Iran's nuclear facilities is located. And the other day, the United States put out footage from U.S. Central Command of deep penetrating bunker busters supposedly hitting these facilities. This is, I want you to keep in mind as you watch this is basically all Donald Trump sees of the war. This is it. Just a montage of clips like this. Okay? That's all he can see. That's all he sees. And then they're like, we're winning, sir. And they're like, okay, we're winning. Kuwait in particular has been the target of a lot of Iranian strikes. A lot of their fuel infrastructure has been getting hit. And, Donald Trump keeps saying, we're going to be gone in 2 to 3 weeks, folks. We'll just be gone. And I will be extraordinarily surprised if we are gone in 2 to 3 weeks. That's the first and only combat loss for those aircraft as well. Yeah, I mean, the fact that you're losing those aircraft at all is a really bad sign for your military capacity. I mean, all of Donald Trump's like subordinates are going out there. Well, we're at the finish line with this. We're basically done. We're basically done with the Iran situation. Like, they want to get out of there so bad, and yet the conflict that they have put into place here is constantly expanding. I wanted to bring your attention to this piece from the Wall Street Journal. The UAE wants to force Hormuz open and is willing to join the fight. Gulf state begins effort to persuade US and others to open waterway by any means necessary. I mean, there's no real easy way to say this. The amount of money that Saudi Arabia and the UAE have with which to try and buy US cooperation, as well as they have their own militaries as well. Like, they want the United States to put boots on the ground. That's what they have been donating to Donald Trump to get him to do. You know? He's bought and paid for. And so what we're looking at here is effectively the regional war continuing to expand. More and more countries are getting involved in this, either behind the scenes or on the ground, in the air, etc. When Donald Trump gets up in front of the country and says, well, I think we're going to be gone in a couple days, I do not believe him, and neither should you. I got to be honest with you. I'm at the point where I believe like the folks who are clearly doing insider trading on the betting markets more than I believe Donald Trump.
Live from the Polymarket studio in LA.
It's just the insider trading is off the charts, and I got to be honest, there's no easy way out of this. There's no easy way out. And the only way forward is to organize. I know I keep banging that drum. I know you might be tired and sick of hearing me say it, but the only way out of this is not going to come from Republicans suddenly having a change of heart or, you know, panicking and saying, well, we got to get out of this, because this isn't just a one-time whoopsie daisy. You can't just back out once this fight has been engaged in, because Iran has a say. Your enemy in a war gets a vote on when the conflict ends. Respectfully, yes, I'm a little tired of the organized thing. Yeah, unfortunately, by becoming aware of systemic issues, I have locked you in. The issue here is that you are now aware of the systemic abuses that our country perpetuates and engages in. And unfortunately, the only way to unfuck that, regardless of your political beliefs, is to organize and build the power and capacity to unfuck it. I understand people are tired, but the struggle is eternal, and it's bigger than me, and it's bigger than you, and it's going to be the long haul. It's going to be the long haul for our children and our children's children, and it will never end until the end of the human race. Because the struggle to make life and make our world better is an unending one. So welcome to Woke 2.0. We fight till we die. Okay, that's maybe going a little bit too hard, but it's true, but it's going too hard. But what I do have to say is we have to organize. And the reason I say organize with your local DSA, organize with your local Dems, is because those two groups are available anywhere you go in the United States. You can create your own DSA branch if there isn't one near you, and you have local near you branches of the local Democratic Party. And the solution here is to show up at those meetings, to show up, to contribute, to become known by your neighbors, and to know them in turn, and then to work together with them. Because it is only by working together with like-minded people that we can build the better world that we deserve, that our parents deserve, that our children deserve, and that all who come after us deserve. You know, we must be the ones who plant trees that we will never enjoy the shade of. We must be the ones who do that work so that future generations can live in peace, prosperity, and free from tyranny. So I'm encouraging you guys, join your local Democrats. I understand there might be centrists in there. There might be conservative Dems. There might be Dems who've been bought out by oligarchs or bought out by lobbyist money. Your goal is to kick them out and take control of that party for actual working people.
Curious and having a father and grandfather who didn't sugarcoat America's bullshit even though you were a kid means you've been woke since you were 8. It's tiring.
It is tiring. There will be terrible Dems. You can get them to shut up. It's true. And we can help you make that happen. Join our Discord or head over to riverboat.gg and talk with Dragonfly. She will help you get involved with your local Democrats, give you some pointers on how to make your local Democrats more progressive and more effective, how to deal with centrists and conservative Dems, and make this a party of working class people for working class people. You can also join your DSA. Reach out, join our Discord, reach out to Gamergy to figure out how to start your own DSA group or join an existing one, and how to effectively organize with your DSA group to make a movement in your local area that is worth a damn and coordinates with other, with unions, with working people in your area. Because it is only by us joining together, hand in hand, working people with working people for working people, that there will be a better world tomorrow. We cannot rely on any kind of one individual to rise up and save us. We cannot rely on any of these establishment Dems to come to our rescue, because we all know establishment Dems. They will sell us out to the highest bidder when it comes time for them to get that PAC money, okay? It is only by organizing locally that we build power that is sustainable and that we can build upon it. Don't forget what Obama did. Obama built one of the most successful grassroots political campaigns of all time. And then when he won, he burned it down behind him. We can't rely on one-off politicians to build our future. We have to build it ourselves. So join your local Dems, join your local DSA, and be the building blocks for a better tomorrow. All that being said, also, if you got anything out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Longer than 8 words apparently does better in the algorithm. And last but not least, check out ImageneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes, also tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks, etc. It is comfortable, non-tucking lingerie that fits. It is beautiful. It is elegant. And it is sexy. Go check it out. ImageneOlivia.com. Link should be down in the description. And let's keep on going, shall we?
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather around. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack.